at the Texas NHRA Fall Nationals, Austin Prock, who went 3.959 at 328 miles an hour to defeat Ron Capps in the final round, picking up his 9th win this season. First career win at Texas Motorplex too, so obviously a special feeling there. Austin, you entered the weekend 20 points up, leave the weekend 112 points up. That's a pretty resounding statement for the weekend, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. Friday night I said we're going to be counting wins, and we went out there and won, and all our cards fell right today on Sunday, and we were able to extend our points lead. So that definitely feels really good. I'm really proud of this team. We stumbled Q1 when the track was a little green, and they regrouped, and the track continuously got better throughout the weekend, and so did our race car. We were low ET every time we went down the track after Q1, and that's an OG Jim Prock move right there. You go and you just take it all. So really proud to drive this race car for Cornwell Tools. It's one hell of an opportunity, and to turn on win lights and bring home race wins it feels good, and then you extend the points lead on top of it. You can't ask for much more. 7
straight rounds or runs where you were the quickest car out there, and this heat, that's kind of saying something.
Yeah, it was a really cool weekend. I get gassed up when this thing rips like it does. I'm so proud of this team, and my dad and brother and Nate Hildahl. They do just such a good job, and we weren't just low ET. We were low ET by a lot of those sessions, which definitely makes you feel good, gives you some confidence behind the wheel, and to put it all together and put a cowboy hat on at the end of the day feels damn good.
Austin, yesterday you talked about getting redemption, and after what happened last year, you feel that you got that this race, and looking forward now to the next 2 races, what do you focus on, and can you keep that momentum going?
Yeah, we did get redemption. Definitely feels good, and for my first win at Dallas and sweep the weekend, take all the cash, no better way to do it, right? So our mindset is the same. We got to go out there, and like I said, the most wins in these next 3 races is going to crown the world champion, I feel like. And we knocked one off, so got 2 more to go. And our race car typically runs really good in Las Vegas. My dad makes a lot of horsepower and knows how to tune in a lot of different conditions. So I got all the faith in the world in this team and this race car, and I'm going to go up there and try and do my job. It's going to be kind of weird going to Vegas and not 4 wide. I keep thinking that the Vegas race is 4 wide just because they threw us for a loop earlier in the countdown, and I'm looking forward to it. I love going to Las Vegas. It's a long week there with SEMA and everything, but always a good time there. And last year we locked up the championship there, so hopefully we can go turn on 4 more win lights and have a good qualifying effort there, and extend our points lead even more.
How about winning this race in the 40th year of this track? Just what does that mean?
That's cool. It's crazy how long this place has been here, and the surface is still in great condition. They did such a good job engineering this racetrack when they built it back in the 80s. All concrete, and we don't go to a place that's like this. So to come here, I'm sorry for the fans if you're a big fan of low ET. It shouldn't be 95 here in October, but that's what Mother Nature threw us this year. But still put on good racing, and when you win in the heat, it's a struggle. You bust your tails, the guys bust their tails, it's hot out, you're sweating, you're tired, you have no time to eat on Sunday, so it always tastes a little bit better on these long, hot days. So, we'll be wearing our cowboy hats proud tonight.
You were Austin Prock typical against Austin Prock in the semifinals, where you thought you made a mistake. What does that do for you heading to the final?
I tried to clear it out of my mind as fast as I could. I got back to the pit. The guys, they always got my back. They might bust my chops every now and then, but they know when to play and know when not to play. So none of my guys said anything really, but I told them after the final round, I said I wasn't great in the finals, but I at least cut it in half. And their response was, well, when you're 115, it's pretty easy to cut it in half. So, everybody makes mistakes. I'm probably too hard on myself a lot of times, but I've been that way my whole life, and I feel like it's how I've got to this point. I hold myself to a high standard, and it's just been a learning curve for me. Putting pressure on myself, I feel like makes me better. Pressure makes diamonds, but maybe I'm a diamond already, and I should let myself cut a break every now and then. So I'm going to work on that, and hopefully it'll. I'm always growing. If you stop learning and you stop trying to figure yourself out, you're just going to fall behind the curve. So always evolving, always changing my mindset, and but one mindset that never changes is be the best that you can and turn on as many win lights as you can.
When you do that, do you immediately know why it happened?
Yeah, I knew. As soon as I stood on the gas, I wanted to key up the radio when I was at the 3:30 to ask what my reaction time was, because I knew I was dead late, and I knew I knew I was dead late. So, and then I'm like, is that a nose out there on the right corner of my eye? Like I felt like I saw a black nose out on the peripheral of my right eye, and he had already spun or whatever he did over there. I don't think he was ahead of me past the 60-foot clock. This Prock rocket bailed me out again. So, that's the benefit of having a good race car. When I stumble, it carries me, and when it stumbles, I typically carry it. So we're a good package right now, and everybody's just got to have each other's back. And when it's your day, it's your day.
How would you compare these kind of two championship runs? Last year was the first one, and I think we 15 number one qualifiers, and that, all those accolades. This year it feels like you guys have been even better on Sundays. This is your 9th win of the season, already passed last year. How would you compare these kind of championship journeys the past 2 years?
Yeah, they've definitely been exciting. Last year, this race car, you could do anything you wanted to it, and it would just go down the racetrack. We had, just lady luck on our side, or, it's not luck. Everyone puts in a lot of work, but it was just a lot more forgiving for whatever reason. And this year, you look at it wrong and it wants to smoke the tires. So that's why our qualifying consistency rate really hasn't been as dominant as it was last year. But like you said, we have more wins to this point than we did last year. More wins already than we did last year. We had 8 wins last year. We already got 9. We got 2 races to go. So, it's just, the effort that these guys have put into it, and they really can science this race car out. When it starts acting up, they know exactly what to feed it, how to treat it, and it'll turn around. And then you get 4 shots at it in qualifying, and by Sunday they typically got a good hold on it. So it just says a lot about the crew chiefs and crew members on this car. If the crew doesn't put it together properly, it's not going to go up and down the racetrack. And they gave the crew chiefs a perfect product every time, and my crew chiefs work harder than anybody in this business, I believe. And that speaks for our success.
One last thing, just looking ahead to Vegas, you touched on it briefly, but last year was a great weekend for you race-wise too, but off the track, at SEMA right after you win Vegas, and then you sign your official extension to be with Cornwell for multi-years, and just kind of that job security or whatever, however you want to take it, just kind of recall how special Vegas is, just looking at what happened last year.
Yeah, absolutely. It was to start off, it was Force's first race back. It was a definitely exciting weekend. We had to finish it on Monday due to some unfortunate circumstances, and me and Brittany doubled up, and then I get to go to SEMA and announce a 3-year contract with Cornwell Tools. It couldn't have been a better weekend to, just cap the year off that we had. And then we went into Pomona and even did more exciting things. Ran 341 miles an hour, ran the quickest run of the season, and came up short to our teammate in the final, but at least the John Force Racing car won. So this is an exciting time of the year. What we did in Dallas today definitely puts a pep in our step going into Las Vegas, but like I always say, the job is not finished. The 90-point swing can just as easily swing the other way. So we got to go in there. We got to go win another one. Plain and simple. And if we do that, then we'll be looking in pretty good shape. But you can only count rounds at this point by 35 or 30 points, whatever it is. 30 points and a half. Yeah, 35. So our 90 or whatever, our 112 point lead, it's not really 112 points. Because they throw another curveball at you in this playoff system. So, but at the end of the day, great weekend. I'm happy with the spot that we're in. All you can ask for is to come in and extend your points lead every weekend, even if it's by 1 point, and we did a lot better than that.
Awesome. Well, Austin, congratulations. You're a fun car winner here in Dallas.
Cool, thank you.